NATO's taken advantage of us because we were, look, two things. Number one, they take advantage of us on trade, meaning the European nations, okay, like terrible. They don't take our cars, they don't take our food product, they don't take anything. It's a disgrace. And on top of that, we defend them. So it's a double whammy. So let me just tell you, I was able to get hundreds of billions of dollars put into NATO just by a tough attitude. I said to the countries, I'm not going to protect you unless you pay. And they started paying. And that amounted to more than $600 billion. That's a big thing. Otherwise, they wouldn't even be fighting. They wouldn't have any money to fight. If they're paying their bills, and if I think they're treating us fairly, the answer is absolutely. I'd stay with NATO.
Hey everyone, listening to Donald Trump can often be a challenge, but as he prepares to take office again in a few weeks in what was a landmark, historic landslide of an election, we will need to adjust to his usual barrage of misguided and confusing remarks. Trump's rhetoric often mirrors that of certain Brexiteers, particularly in his misunderstanding of the differences between EU member states and the EU as a supranational institution. Recently, he discussed NATO, based on that his previous efforts to withdraw, or threats to withdraw, from the alliance supposedly pressured European countries to increase their military spending. However, as usual with Donald Trump, the claims fall apart under scrutiny. In regards to NATO and trade misconceptions, Trump claimed NATO is taking advantage of us on trade. European nations don't take our cars, food products or anything else. It's a disgrace. On top of that, we defend them, so it's a double whammy. But because of me, they paid $600 billion into NATO, or else I'd have no money to fight. First, let's address his trade claims. European countries do import goods, but as part of the EU single market, they require imports to meet specific high standards, just as the US demands compliance with its own standards for foreign goods. This isn't about refusing American products. It's about meeting the required regulations, which Trump seemingly cannot grasp. Trade doesn't operate on a because I said so basis. In regards to his understanding of NATO spending, moving to NATO, Trump's narrative suggests that his hardline stance forced European countries to increase their military budgets. While some countries did boost their spending, this is far from a universal outcome. For instance, nations like Poland and Greece already exceeded the 2% GDP defence spending guideline, largely because of their proximity to Russia and concerns over threats from Moscow, not because of Trump's rhetoric. Other European countries, such as Germany, have yet to meet the 2% threshold. If Trump's threats were as influential as he claims, why hasn't spending risen uniformly across all NATO members? The reality is that factors such as regional security concerns and the war in Ukraine play a far greater role in driving defence spending. In terms of his confusion about the EU and NATO altogether, Trump's comments also highlight his ongoing inability to distinguish between NATO and the EU. For example, Ireland is an EU member but not part of NATO, whilst Greece is in both but already exceeds its defence spending requirements. Yet Trump continues to conflate these organisations and individual nations, failing to grasp their distinctions. His lack of clarity risks alienating allies, many of whom are already doing more than their fair share. Ultimately, what Trump's remarks lack is it demonstrates a troubling ignorance of trade, NATO and international diplomacy, an alarming reality as he prepares to assume the presidency again. With his habit of making sweeping inaccurate statements and failing to grasp the complexities of global relationships, the coming term promises to be a difficult one for US allies and broader international community. But let me know what you think in the comments. I've been Jake from Just Jake. As always, subscribe to the channel and I'll see you next time. You actually made it to the end of the video. If you would like to subscribe to the channel, which, why haven't you already, is somewhere over there. And also, if you want to watch more videos, also check out over there. I've been Jake from Just Jake. See you later.